Uh-oh.
Let's just go.
Right. Well, we are live, my friend. Let's do this.
All right. Well, we're good, Byron. We're good to go.
Excellent. We're good. We got
All right.
we
I'm
got
going to apologize to everybody right now because my ring camera just went off, which means someone's about to come to my front door, and you will hear my dogs going crazy.
Yeah.
But it'll be a temporary thing. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in. From what we've done this the last couple races, and what we've learned is that we get a lot of viewers after the fact. So for our last race, the Devil's Key, almost everybody ended up watching it eventually before the race, but not that many of them were able to tune in live. So we're kind of expecting the same thing today. We'll probably have some tuning in live right now and many people watching it after the fact. Of course, then they don't have the opportunity to ask questions that we can answer, but it's still very helpful for us to be able to provide this information. The more you know, the less stressful the event will be for you, and that's our goal. Right on cue. There they go. There the dogs go.
Oh.
Okay. So.
Oh yeah.
So again, Byron, anything to add before we get going?
No, I'll just interrupt you at some point rudely.
Okay. So yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the chat, and Byron will interrupt me as he feels necessary, or if the timing works out. If we're on the topic, he'll just ask the questions. So, okay, let's get going. So first of all, race times. The 30K and the 43K races will start on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. And then an hour later, the 10K will start. The 30 and the 43 basically have the first 11, 12. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The first 22 kilometers of those two races are the same. So at that point, after completing the Abe's and Essence Trail, they'll head in opposite directions, but they will be together for the first 21, 22 kilometers. The 10K do take a different route right from the very beginning, so they're off an hour later. And we will be doing race kit pickup starting at 8 a.m. on race morning. If you are staying at the camp at Bon Echo the evening before, you're welcome to come by the race start area from 5 to 7 p.m. on Friday and pick up your race kit then, and just hang out with us. It's beautiful. The race start area is an absolutely beautiful area right by the water, quite gorgeous, a nice place to watch the sunset. Yeah, it's a really nice place. So we'd love to hang out with you for a little while, and then we can kind of go our separate ways for the evening. So race kit pick up right up until race starts, starting at 8 a.m. So for the 10K runners, you don't need to be there for 8 a.m. You're probably good to be there for 9:15, 9:30 even. There's lots of parking in the area. If you're staying in the park, you can walk over from your campsite or do whatever works best for you. I do suggest that
So, Jeff,
for people that are, yes.
I have something to confess.
What's that?
I had you on mute. So the folks didn't quite hear you. Can you start talking about the 30 and the 43K and how the first 22 kilometers are about the same?
Okay, so we're starting over again. All right. I think this happened last time too. So.
Yeah, just the opposite way.
Yeah. All right. So race starts. The race starting time is 9 o'clock a.m. for the 30 and 43K and 10 o'clock a.m. for the 10K. We have the 30 and 43K runners starting together because the first 22 kilometers of those races are the same. So the 30 and 43 will stick together for 22 until they complete the Abe's and Essence loop. I'll talk a little bit more about the actual course in a moment, but once they finish that loop, then they'll head in different directions. Yeah, so they're start at 9. The 10K starts at 10. Race kit pickup will be from 8 a.m. Until the race starts on Saturday morning. So if you're in the 10K, you don't need to be there for 8 a.m. 9:15, 9:30 is plenty of time to pick up your kit. We will also be doing race kit pickup on the Friday evening from 5 to 7. If you're staying in the park, it makes sense to come on down, check out the
starting area, so you know exactly where to go the next morning, and you can get a little bit more sleep the next morning. But also that area where we host the race kit pickup, which is the start finish of the race, it really is a beautiful area. We're expecting nice weather this weekend, so it's a great spot to kind of hang out. And like, we're right by the water. It's a good spot to watch the sunset. So so we'll be doing the race kit pickup 5 to 7 Friday, and then 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Okay. Aid stations. I've been getting some emails about aid stations, how far apart they are, what sort of thing will be served at them. Are they accessible by road so that your crew can meet you? So I'll answer all of those questions. Essentially, there are 4 aid stations on the course. All of those aid stations will be visited. Almost all of those aid stations will be visited more than one time, depending on what race you're in. So essentially, there's 2 really big main aid stations. That's the Shield Trail aid station and the Abe's in Essence exit. So we have an aid station at the entry and at the exit. It's not the same aid station because the entry and the exit to this loop is actually like 100 or 200 meters apart from each other. So we actually have 2 different aid stations set up, one on each end of it. It's really important to us that runners in the 30K and the 43K events start that Abe's in Essence loop fully prepared for kind of a long haul out there on the Abe's in Essence trail, because it's an 11-kilometer section. And I know 11 kilometers doesn't seem like that long to go between aid stations. I've done plenty of races where the aid stations are beyond 20 kilometers apart. With the problem is that this is a really rugged and remote section of trail. Mm-hmm. And this is every year the area that we go on that, or the amount of time that we're on that has grown a little bit, because as many of you will remember, I guess probably 2022, there was a big ice. 2022, 2023.
Yeah, 2022, because we've had it for 2 years now, right?
That's right. Yeah. So in 2022, there was a tornado on the May long weekend. Not really a tornado, but like a very severe storm, and the park was hit and it was severely damaged, and whole sections of the campground were shut down. Of course, the park was completely full on that weekend because it was a long weekend, and no lives were lost, but there was an incredible amount of damage done. And nothing was worse than the Abe's in Essence trail, because it is such a remote section of trail. Mm-hmm. So we had to cancel the race that year. They worked tirelessly to clean up sections of the trail, and we were able to do a short loop the first year that we opened this race. And then last year we were able to do a longer loop. And this year, we're hoping that for next year, actually, the entire Abe's in Essence will be open, which is like 15 to 17 kilometers. But for this year, we have what we did last year, which is one kind of big loop, plus a little out and back section, which is a new section of trail that they've just opened up. So that adds about 4 kilometers, 2 kilometers out and 2 kilometers back on the Abe's in Essence trail. So for a total of now 11 kilometers on that. And like I said, it's hilly. That's not what the problem is, though. Like it's kind of rolling hills. The problem is that it is very remote and very technical. There's lots of rocks. There's lots of roots. The trail is very narrow. It's beautiful. It's a really beautiful section. And it's really the reason why we're at Bon Echo is this is such an iconic trail. We love the trail, but it is tough. So that 11 kilometers for many people might be 2 hours, or possibly even beyond 2 hours for kind of like the middle or back of the packers. So expect to be out there for a long time, and ensure that you enter that section with full bottles and snacks. So that's why we have that aid station right before you enter. It's actually only about 2.5 kilometers from the Shield Trail aid station. Mm-hmm. So at first we thought maybe it's not necessary to have that, because you'll probably still have your provisions from the Shield Trail. but just for safety reasons and just to ensure that you're fully prepared for that long section. I don't mean to scare anybody, because it's not like a terribly difficult section. It's just that it is, it's technical and it's not fast moving. Like, it's even slow. For the fast runner,
it's a grinder.
It's a slow trail. There's going to be a lot of hiking through that section. Now, there are lots of sections of the race course that are fast, because there's lots of it that's on the camp roads, and you can kind of move through those sections quite quickly. So back to the aid stations, we have the Shield Trail aid station, the Abe's in Essence entry, the Abe's in Essence exit, which will be for the 43K runners, they will hit that a second time as well. And then we have the Joe Perry Lake aid station, which is new this year and will only be for the 43K runners, because only the 43K runners will head out to Joe Perry Lake. So the Shield Trail is probably going to be the busiest aid station. It's definitely going to be the busiest aid station, because every participant on the course is going to go there at least twice. So we have just over 200 runners this year. Race is full, and everyone will go at least twice. And the 43K runners will actually go 3 times to that aid station, because they do the Shield Trail loop twice. So last year in the 30 and 43K events, we did have people doing either the Shield Trail twice or Abe's in Essence twice. Now, this year, we definitely, as we've extended the Abe's in Essence, we definitely don't want people doing that section twice. So we have an all-new course this year for the 43K. And I think that, first of all, I think that it's definitely a faster course than it was last year. So people will be out there for a little bit less time. And also, it's probably a little bit more exciting, because there's more unique sections where you're not doing the Abe's in Essence twice. You're only doing it one time. So I think that it makes the course a little bit more interesting. And also, we've thrown in another short little trail loop right at the very beginning of the race for the 30 and 43K runners. So yeah, there are very few easy sections of this course. Even the roads, the camp roads, which are kind of gravel dirt roads, even those sections are quite hilly. So, you know, I'd like to say that you can rip it on the road sections, but that's really unlikely to happen. Of course, one direction it will happen, because you'll get to go downhill. More on your way back to the finish line will be easier for sure. Signs. So at all of our races this year, we have updated all of our signs to give you as much information as possible. You know as well as I do that sometimes you go to a race and you ask at the aid station, how far to the next aid station, or how far is this loop? And really, the aid station volunteers are just that. They're volunteers. They didn't design the course. They haven't run the course before. So we don't expect them to have all of the information. So for all of our events this year, we have kind of updated our signs. Here's an example. When you get to the aid station, it will tell you how far into the race you are and how far to the next aid station, so that you have kind of exact distances. And we think that that's helpful, because then you know how much stuff you have to bring with you when you leave that aid station. So we have, we've added those signs, and also even on the course, like on the Abe's in Essence Trail, we do have some special signs made up for any areas what in the past have been a little bit confusing, where maybe somebody went off trail. We really take the information that you provide us after the race about like this was a confusing section or whatever it is, and we think about that and try to solve those problems afterwards. And this year we think that the race should be very easy to follow with our new signs. Hopefully you agree. So for those 30K and 43K runners, on the Abe's in Essence Trail, you'll do the loop, like I said. At the furthest point of the loop, you then go and do the out and back, and you prove that you did the entire out and back by picking up a pin at the furthest point, like a Monster of Mazinaw pin, which will be in a Ziploc bag. Take one out, put it on your pack or put it on your shirt or whatever it is, put it in your pocket, and that proves that you made it all the way to the furthest point. So hopefully that clears that up. If you have any questions about specifics with the Abe's in Essence Trail, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get to it. Early start. If you're in, this really is only applicable to the 43K runners. I mean, if you're in the 30K and maybe you're with a 43K runner and they want to start early, you're welcome to start. Anyone is really welcome to start early. I would not recommend that 10K runners start early, because I think that just opens up a little bit of confusion, because your route is a little bit different. And not only do we not want you going the wrong way, but we also don't want other runners seeing you go the wrong way and think that you're going the right way, which always happens. We typically, if somebody goes off trail, other people follow. So if you're in the 30 or 43K and you want to start an hour early and start at 8 a.m., we can make that happen, no problem. That also brings up the point that for those of you who want to change distances, maybe you register for the 43 or the 30 and you want to drop down a distance, please don't email us about that, because we're a little bit swamped with emails at the moment. Just know that we will 100% take care of that on race day. It's not a problem at all. Just come prepared to run the event that you want to do, and we'll make sure it happens. And that's also true with transfers. If you want to transfer your bib to somebody else, you can no longer make it. Same thing. That person can just show up to the race, 10 minutes earlier than they normally would show up, and we will do the transfer right on site. No problem. We can take care of that. So we'd prefer it if you didn't email us about those two issues. If you can't make it and you can't find anybody to take your bib, then you're unable to come to the event. We're not doing deferrals anymore. We're well past that deadline, but you can have somebody pick up your race kit for you, and they'll, we'll make sure that they get everything in the kit and send it your way. This year we also have these, well, not just this year, we've had them in previous years. We have these like Nalgene style Monster Mazinaw bottles, and they're going to be $5, and that $5 is going to go to charity. This year it's going to actually go to the Terry Fox Fund, like the cancer fund this is the big week right now for all the Terry Fox runs in the elementary schools and high schools. So I thought it would be, one of my personal heroes, Terry Fox, and $5, this is yours, and 100% of those proceeds will go to the Terry Fox run. So crew, if you have a crew that want to meet you at various points on the race course, that's totally fine. They're welcome to meet you at the aid stations. All of the aid stations are basically right on the road at like intersections of the trail. So they're strategically placed so that there's very easy access for both you and our medical team, just in case of an emergency. The only thing is we ask, and this is really important because we have a great relationship with the park, and they absolutely love having us. They always mention every year how they love having us here. They love that we're opening up kind of this world to runners who normally wouldn't go. And they said over the past few years, they've had a lot more trail running in the park. So they like it. They like having us. We want to maintain that relationship. And it's really important that your crew does not park on the road. Each of those 8 stations has a parking lot. They have to park in the parking lot. If the parking lot is full, they need to go somewhere else. They can't park along the road, because that's kind of putting our permits at risk. And it's really important that we maintain that positive relationship that we have. So Shield Trail is a pretty small parking lot. So that one is kind of like the sketchiest in terms of will there be availability. It's a pretty small parking lot, but it is also not far from the front gate. So you could essentially park at the front gate of Bon Echo and take a very short walk over to the Shield Trail to meet your crew. The aid station at Abe's and Essence, both inbound and outbound, that's a pretty big parking lot. It's a good size. It's not right at the aid station, but it's like within 100 meters, essentially. You just park there and walk on over.
I think it's right across the street from one of the aid stations.
It's right across the street from the exit, from Abe's and exit. So, so it's 100 or 200 meters to the Abe's and Essence entry. And this one's only for the 43K runners, but the Joe Perry Lake, there's parking there as well. So that's a new aid station this year. And that was because of Byron. Byron and Sherry suggested that one because they They've spent a little bit of time up at Bon Echo, and they thought this is a great place. And not only did they think it would be a great place for an aid station, but a great place for a race turnaround because it's a beautiful lake and people might want to even jump in the lake, you said, right, Byron? And,
right,
and go for a little dip.
We were up in June and it was pretty hot. So it was, it was nice to jump into the lake, cool off a bit, and then turn around. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the weather is going to be a little bit chillier. It looks like full sun for race day, but a low temperature overnight of like 5 or 6 degrees and a high of 15 or 16 degrees. So it's going to be absolutely ideal racing weather. Yeah. It's going to be perfect for racing. We're really excited about this year's conditions. So the other thing that I wanted to mention was I know in our race description, and for all of our races, we say that we're not doing any post-race food. We do that for a number of reasons. We don't offer post-race food. But for this race this year, and this isn't necessarily going to happen every year, but for this race this year, we're gonna have a barbecue at the finish line, and we're gonna be cooking up burgers. We have burgers, and we have a limited supply of veggie burgers, but hopefully we have enough veggie burgers. So we'll do burgers for the race participants. And of course, that's no charge. We're going to have a little aid station set up there, and we'll be grilling burgers and have pop and chips and that sort of thing. So for this race, what makes this race so special, aside from the incredible scenery, which really is out of this world, it's the vibe. This race, it's the vibe. And it's such a, I think that most Happy Trails races have that kind of grassroots vibe. But this one is especially so. So just where we set up, it is just such a relaxing atmosphere. And we would love it if after the race, you hung out for a little bit. If you have friends and family, they're welcome. We'll cook up burgers for whoever's there. We love hanging out with you. It makes the weekend really special. This is actually one race that the Happy Trails team really look forward to. Yeah. I'm a teacher. I've gone back to work. It's a really busy time for me. And I look at this weekend as a great kind of getaway, and we get to hang out, and it's towards the end of the season. But we love chatting with you and hearing about not just how your race went, but like, what do you have planned for the future? Like, what other races? What are your goals? We love learning about the runners. So come hang out with us.
And bring a towel and some stuff to go into the lake at the end of the race too.
Yeah. It's funny because we actually always have. I can't say this happens with any other race, but every year we get a couple people who actually get dropped off for the race on boat. So like they have a cottage on the lake, and people will pull right up on a boat, jump out, go run the race, and then get back on the boat and go up to their cottage. So it's a pretty unique location. Also, if you're going to be staying at the park, or even if you're not staying in the park and you're just visiting for the day, it's definitely worth your while to make the trek across the lake over to the Clifftop Trail. Since we were there last year, they've updated their platforms, their viewing platforms. Yeah. It's really short. It's only like 1 kilometer or 1.5 kilometers, but it is all uphill on the way there. It's all stairs. It's just such an incredible lookout. The views are really quite impressive. Also, the area is known for its drawings. What do we call them? Pictographs, the indigenous pictographs along the water. If you have the opportunity to check them out, it's definitely worthwhile. Group of 7 did lots of painting at Bon Echo Park. And if you spend a little bit of time exploring these areas, you'll get to see why. It really is absolutely out of this world. So head over to Clifftop Trail if you have the opportunity. But the only way to get across is to either bring a boat or a paddle board, or rent a canoe or a paddle board. They offer ferry services that will take you across. It's just that I'm not sure what the schedule is for the ferry. I think a lot of it depends on the availability, depends on weather and how many people are interested in doing it. But it's worthwhile to go across and check out the Clifftop Trail. That might be something that you want to do on the Friday evening. Great spot to watch the sunset from up there. Byron, anything to add?
Oh, just the fall colors will probably be at prime,
Yep.
but no, I think you covered it all.
Yeah, when we first started talking many years ago, like this was probably like when we first started working with the superintendent at Bon Echo, it was probably 2018. And then, of course, it was a number of years before the race actually happened because of COVID and then because of the storm. But the one thing that the superintendent said to us is, yeah, we'd love to try this out. We'd love to have you here, but we want you here in September. And I asked why, and he said, because, you know, that's what's going to get people coming back year after year if they're here in September. It's the nicest time of year to go. If you go in the summer, the bugs are pretty bad. September, you don't have to deal with the bugs, and the fall colors are spectacular. So, Byron, do we have any questions in the chat?
Oh, I hadn't seen. It looks like no.
No.
No, this has been pretty straightforward. Nobody wants to ask about the course. I mean, I think it's one of the honestly, I think it's one of the tougher ones.
Yes.
We've introduced a couple tough races this year. And last year, like First Blaze and Devil's Key.
Devil's Key is an incredibly hard course. I'd say Devil's Key's, in my opinion. Now, we've had some debates about between Monster of Mazinaw, Falling Water, Devil's Key, and First Blaze, which one is the hardest. And we can't get it straight. Like, nobody seems to agree on this. My heart tells me that Devil's Key is the hardest, personally, and especially in terms of elevation gain. First Blaze is probably the hardest in terms of technicality. Not that much elevation gain, but super rocky sections. And of course, Falling Water, what a stunning course that is, but obviously very hilly. Not super technical, but very hilly. And Monster of Mazinaw is hilly, but not crazy hilly, but it has some really technical sections to it. But those technical sections are really unique, really special sections of the course. I'm not sure if it's going to be part of the Abes and Essence yet, because they haven't opened the whole thing. But I remember the first time that I went and ran Abes and Essence when I was kind of scouting out the course, there's one part where you actually cross over a beaver dam. And I just thought like it was an abandoned old beaver dam. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. Like, we're running over top of a beaver dam right now. Like, how Canadian is this?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. I can't remember is that the third loop for real?
It might be in the third loop. I'm just not too sure. I can't really remember right now. It's all a bit of a blur.
Yeah, it might be. I think you might be right.
Anyways,
this is pretty cool things anyway that they'll run over, like
absolutely,
like a little stream that's all rocky. It's kind of fun to go through that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful race. And you know, this one's kind of like,
apparently it's on loop 2.
It's on loop 2, the Beaver Dam.
Okay. Yeah. Kay has a better memory than both of us.
Yeah, well, I know that's true. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, I mean, Kay would be a good one to ask about the difficulty of these courses, because she's probably run them all.
Actually, she said that her time from Falling Water and Monster of Maz are 2 minutes apart, and and so Maz is technically a kilometer longer.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
So I mean, I got another question here about the Shield Trail, or like, is there other sections that are technical? And Kay's answering it quite accurately. The Shield Trail can be pretty technical.
Yeah. I actually think that the Shield Trail, the terrain of the Shield Trail, is quite similar to the terrain of the Abes and Essence. Maybe not quite as technical, but very similar. It's just that is Abes and the Shield Trail really is only 4 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's only a 4 kilometer loop. It's advertised as a 5 kilometer loop, but it's 4 kilometers.
I find that the Shield Trail also has some pretty sick runnable sections, like that can get pretty fast.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you've got these rocks and you're like scrambling over top of them.
Yeah, that's part of what makes the course interesting, is the mix of technical and then faster sections on the road. Weather is going to be perfect this year. Weather for Falling Water this year was extreme. It was super, super hot. So this was probably a slower year for those participants. I think that it'll be ideal this weekend. Oh yeah.
Also I'm going to have to update the volunteer course, because you changed the course for the 43K. The cell service, Kay's pretty much on the ball about that as well. But what I've found is that if you have Rogers as their cell provider, then you're pretty okay for cell service. I'm not sure how much coverage there is on the trail because I don't really look at my phone for data or anything like that. But when you're in the park, like at the start finish, the Rogers provider comes through nice and strong, and it seems that everybody else suffers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of hit or miss at the start finish area. For those of you doing the 10K course, actually one of my favorite 10K courses, I usually run the 10K myself. I usually jump into that race kind of at the last minute decision. I'm not sure if I'm going to this year or not, but I love this 10K course. It's really special. It's actually not quite 10K. It's more like 9.5K, but feels like 12 or 13K in terms of your time. There have been years where, like the very first year we did it, there was only one runner that broke an hour. And then last year, I think we maybe had 3 or 4 runners that broke an hour. So kind of gives you an idea of the difficulty. 9.5K, and only the top couple runners are able to break an hour. So gives you an idea. And keep in mind that the first 2 or 3 kilometers are actually super fast. So that gives you a sense of what to expect on the Shield Trail loop. Because
were you one of the
rest
people
of the
that had sub 1 hour?
Yeah, I actually did. Yeah, I had sub 1 hour both years, but last year I was just barely sub 1 hour. Like I just barely cracked it.
Didn't
And
you
I think
a couple burgers before you went out too?
I think that was the first year. The first year I had like 3 hamburgers and a beer, and then I went in and like pushed as hard as I could, and I did not feel good. That is for sure. Yeah, I think I might jump into something this weekend, but I'm really looking forward to working at one of the aid stations. I'm hoping to spend some time at the Shield aid station with Tanker. Tanker and I are going to hang out, and my daughter is coming up to help out as well. So like, I love working at the aid stations. I love seeing the runners. So I'm looking forward to seeing people on the course this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that it?
Yeah, I don't see
one other thing that I wanted to mention was just a reminder that for people that are not staying in the park, that you have to pay to enter the park. And all of our other races, we include entry, but we don't for this one. That was in the race description. You had to actually sign a box saying that you acknowledge this. So it shouldn't be news to anybody. But the reason why is the majority of the people do stay in the park. So we didn't want to build that cost in for the runners for everyone when only, like, I think the first year we only had like less than 15 people that didn't stay in the park. So it didn't seem to make sense for us to add that cost onto everybody's registration when only a few people were using it. So it makes more sense this way, where we can kind of pass the savings on to all the people that are staying in the park, and the users just know that cost isn't built into the price. So you are expected to pay that. It also means that you probably need to, just in case, there hasn't really been a lineup at the gate in previous years, but plan on arriving like 15 to 20 minutes earlier than you normally would, just in case there are other participants trying to get into the gate at that time. And because you actually have to get out of your car and go and pay, and they'll give you a day pass.
So words of wisdom.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's it. Yeah, we're stoked. I hope that you're excited for this weekend. It looks like we have like a full roster. It's going to be a great turnout. There is the possibility. I think it's unlikely at this point, but I did set aside 10 spots in the 10K because there was a local, an Ontario university cross country team that was hoping to join, but it all depended on, there was a potential strike happening within some of the sports. So if there was a strike and certain track and field events weren't happening, or cross country events weren't happening, they were going to come and join us. But it's going to be like a real kind of game time decision whether they come. It'll be fun if they do come, because they'll be trying to rip that course, and that is not a course that you can really rip. It will definitely be by far way harder than anything that they do, because first of all, their distance is usually like 5 to 6K, not 10K. And then of course it's not the type of terrain like that they're used to.
They're not rock hopping.
Yeah. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun if they can make it. But at this point, I'd say that that's kind of unlikely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And I'm sure there's going to be the majority of people will be watching after the fact over the next few days. But just know that we are super pumped to see you there. And if you have any like dire questions, feel free to send us an email. But this is going to be like a very, very busy week for us preparing for this race. And then also we do head down, like Byron's heading to the park on Wednesday evening. So, this does take the course takes a long time to set up, 43 kilometers of kind of rugged terrain. So I appreciate Byron and all of the other Tina and everybody else who will be setting up the course, Sherry, and I'm a couple other people. Lots of our friends are actually making the journey this weekend, even if they're not racing, because it's just a fun hangout weekend. So I'm really excited to see everybody.
Hey, Steve's asking if we're going to have fluid, which we will, right?
Steve who? Steve Hunter?
Yeah.
Steve Hunter, just bring your own food.
Yeah.
No, we're doing burgers. Yeah, we're doing burgers after
fluid, the electrolyte.
Oh, fluid. I thought you said food. I'm sorry, Steve. That's actually a great question, Steve. Thanks for asking that. Love you, Pops. We're going to have fluid electrolyte drink at all of the aid stations. So we've already got it. We've already got our shipment. So we're all set. There was one race earlier in the year where the shipment didn't arrive and we had to kind of serve Gatorade at the last minute. But for this race, it is fluid. It is the blueberry pomegranate flavor. It's a very light flavor. It's 100 calories per serving. It's gluten-free and vegetarian. Yeah. And also, I said this before the Devil's Key, but we've heard a couple rumblings about people accusing us. Can you believe it? They're accusing us of watering down the electrolyte drink, which I would absolutely never do with any of the brands. We always serve it exactly as indicated. Yeah. But fluid does taste like it is slightly watered down, and it's like that on purpose. It's supposed to be very lightly flavored, light tasting, but it is 100% mixed to specification. Yeah. We absolutely do it. And also, it's really great. I mean, it honestly is. I love it.
Because we were just out doing Halliburton 50 mile for 14 hours. That's all I drank. And I don't get that pasty,
Yep. Yeah. And keep in mind that we are not sponsored by Fluid. We are not saying this because we're sponsored. We pay for the electrolyte drink. We have always paid for, whether we've used Scratch. At one point, we used Tailwind. We've always paid for it. We just want to serve what we feel is the best for our runners. So, we're always welcome to hearing your feedback. But we do really, so far the feedback for this has been really positive. Very, very lightly flavored, so you don't really get that gut rot. But it is 100 calories per serving and gluten-free and vegetarian. Good question, Steve. Thanks for asking it.
Yeah. He certainly heard you because you leaned in and raised your voice.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that's everything. Hey, I got nothing else to add.
Okay. I will say probably the last thing then is I think we're still in need of a few volunteers. Yes. So if you have family or friend that are coming down, or if you have kids that need high school volunteer hours, like my daughter who will be attending this weekend, we'd love to have volunteers. Absolutely. There's a link available in the email that I sent out. I sent it out today. Yeah. And also it's on the Instagram post that I sent out today as well.
And then I'm just gonna copy the link and then pop it in here. There is no other flavor right now for the fluid. It's all
that's right.
The pomegranate blueberry.
Yeah. So I did try to order some other flavors originally, but so fluid electrolyte drink is becoming more popular in the States at some of the bigger American races. As far as I know, like, I don't know of any other Canadian races that are really serving it. So I tried to get other flavors, but right now, for like their events, like in the big bags that we buy for the events, the only flavor that they're offering right now is blueberry pomegranate. So they do have some other flavors. And actually, if you want to try some of the other flavors, let me know at the race. I have plenty of like sample sizes of the various flavors. We just can't get it in the big bags at this time. But like, you know, if you want to try this in your own runs at home, let me know at the race, and I'll give you a little sample pack that has 3 different flavors in it or something like that. I'm happy to share that with the participants.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. I guess I should also say that the aid stations will have all of the regular stuff that we typically have. There'll be, you know, peanut butter and jam sandwiches, pickles, chips, cookies, that sort of thing. Just your regular stuff. We do have watermelon, fruit, other oranges, bananas, that sort of thing. So, yeah, yep, be your typical fare.
Yay!
Yeah. All right. Okay,
Well,
everybody. We'll see you Saturday.
So excited. All right. The stream is over. 41 minutes.
41 minutes?
Yeah.